Hi, this is from Vijayakumar, Assistant Professor, Head of the Department of Physics. Today I am taking in another one topic of environmental science, the Unit 1 ecosystem. The topic 3 is a producer, consumer and decomposer. So this three category is a composed of living organisms and some of it's a form of non-living organism to the form of environmental. It's a form of only the nature environmental. So already we discussed the last two videos. One is a introduction of ecosystem, then another one is in a types of ecosystem to based on the environmental. So to this presentation we discussed the producers. So the photosynthesis organisms to the form of types is a producer. The producer are any kind of green plants. So the plants always is a producers. Green plant make their own food by taking sunlight and using the energy to make sugar. So all the types of sugar factor to the form of the plants is called as a producers. Plants use this sugar, also called glucose, to make many things such as wood, leaves, fruits and bark are example of the producers. Second category is a consumer. Any organism that cannot make its own food. So we are not make its own food. We have prepared the food, not to make its own food, right? So the consumer have to feed a producer or that consumer to survive. Deer are herbivorous, which means that they only eat plants. Bears are another example of consumers. Black bears are omnivorous and scavengers. Consumer in a forest, consumer are of three main types. One is a primary consumer. These are an herbivorous which feed directly on producer. Example, ants, beetles, bugs, spider, feeding on tree leaves. Large animals such as elephants, deer, giraffe, grazing on shoots and or fruits of trees. Secondary consumers, they are carnivorous and feed on a primary consumer. Example, birds, lizards, frogs, snakes and frogs. Third category is a tertiary consumer. These are a secondary carnivorous and feed on a secondary consumers. This include top carnivorous like lion, tiger and human being. So the third category of ecosystem is a decomposer. Any organism that primarily feed on a dead organism or the waste from a living organism. So whatever we have considered in a waste material, that is called as a decomposer. The decomposer are the garbage men of the animal kingdom. They take all the dead animals and plants, consumer and decomposers, and break them down into their natural component so that plants can use that to make more food. So the producer make it their own food and consumer eat other organism for food. Decomposer break down the dead materials. So this all is an interrelation category of the producer, consumer and decomposers. So it's a form of some points I mentioned from here. The lack of decomposer might causes an increasing in the number of producer, the decomposer is lacking, and increasing in the number of consumer, so decomposer is lacking. The decrease in the number of producer, the decomposer is lacking. The decrease in number of consumers is the same, and excess of untransformed inorganic matter and excess of organic matters. So based on this three category, we have discussed some important notes. So some of the categories are moved from producer and primary consumer. So some of its form in that the primary and secondary. So this all is an interrelationship formation to form of the ecosystems. So based on this category, the ecosystem will be developed. So this is all the reference I prepared from the PPT of this topic of producer, consumer and decomposer. Thank you very much. We discussed another one topic from the environmental science in another one video. Thank you very much.